Welcome to South Sudan Diversity. My name is
Oral questions, question orale. The honourable member for Regina Capel.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The Prime Minister told Canadians not to worry about his massive deficits and borrowing and spending because he said interest rates would stay low for a very long time. Then he turned around and pumped $400 billion into Canada's banking system, causing prices to rise. Now, to fight inflation that the Liberals caused, the Bank of Canada has again jacked up interest rates. And for the average mortgage in Vancouver, that means families will have to find another $1,900 a month just to stay in their own homes. So, has the government been briefed on how many Canadians will have to turn their keys over to the bank as they struggle to pay these rising mortgage costs?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, we've put a fiscally responsible affordability plan on the table in this House, and it'll be my pleasure to answer questions on the economy today. But, Mr. Speaker, the new Conservative leader hasn't answered a single question from journalists in nearly 50 days, Mr. Speaker. Canadians don't have the luxury of doing some of their job and not other aspects of their job. So if the new Conservative leader would like to take home his full paycheck paid for by the Canadian taxpayer, he needs to answer questions from journalists in the press gallery today.
The Honourable House Leader for the Official Opposition.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister hasn't answered a question in this House in 7 years. And we're here answering questions on behalf of Canadians who are struggling to pay their mortgage costs just to stay in their own homes. The typical family in Hamilton who now has to renew their mortgage payments will have to come up with an extra $1,300 a month just to stay in the home that they've already been living in. The Prime Minister said that he was going to go into debt so that Canadians didn't have to. So where should families in Hamilton send the bill for their higher mortgage costs?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, families in Hamilton and right across the country will receive in a few days a doubling of the GST tax credit, Mr. Speaker. And this feigned compassion from the Conservatives opposite, the day after they vote against providing supports to Canadians in the form of direct payments for those Canadians having trouble paying the rent, the day after they voted against subsidizing dental care for Canadian children, Mr. Speaker, this feigned compassion from the Conservatives is fooling no one.
Well done. The Honourable House Leader for the Official Opposition.
What we're against, Mr. Speaker, are the inflationary deficits that this government is causing. The reasons why prices are going up today is because the government flooded the banking system with $400 billion of brand new cash, and now Canadians have to pay for it. Again, a typical family, these are based on modest estimates from the Canadian Real Estate Association, a typical family in Ottawa will have to come up with an extra $1,000 a month when they go to renew their mortgage. So once again, has the government been briefed on how many Canadian families are going to lose their home because of the Liberal-caused inflation?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Tourism.
Mr. Speaker, once again, the Conservatives don't seem to understand that while the prices of things continue to rise in Canada, we need to be there to support Canadians. Mr. Speaker, Canadians are seeing higher prices at the grocery stores, and that is why we doubled the GST tax credit. That is why the Competition Bureau is currently beginning the investigation process into the market. That is why supermarkets across this country have frozen their prices, while the Conservatives are working on their next gimmicky lines. Mr. Speaker, we are serious about a serious issue in this country, and we're taking real action.
Thanks for watching. Please feel free to suggest any topics to be covered by South Sudan Diversity, and remember to subscribe if you like what you see.